Hey guys, how are you? I hope that you are well. Thanks so much for watching this replay. You're probably thinking like, what is she laughing at? I'm laughing because usually when I put worship leaders, let's chat, I'll put like the little girl, the little lady with her hand like, hey. And when I went to hit it, the the emoji with the sunglasses came up and it just chuckled because it made me happy. It made me laugh. So but I'm just gonna leave it on there. I thought that was cute. So anyway, hi you guys. Thanks so much for jumping in and thanks for watching the replay. So it's Monday. I was about to say it's Tuesday. It's Monday, January 13th, and I am representing Roots Canada, my friends in Canada, in Toronto, and all over. This is a company. It's a clothing line. Actually, they're like really huge in Canada, and I saw my shirt today and it's hot here in Florida and I thought I'm gonna wear a t-shirt and I want to grab something comfortable. So I'm representing and saying hi, sending love to my friends in Canada today. Thanks so much for jumping in. Thank you guys. I see y'all are coming in. So I just want to encourage you while you're coming on, say hello so I know that you're here. And let me know where you're from. Let me know where you're watching from. Hi, Doris. Thank you. Thank you so much. We are taking over social media today, the Deltas. That's what we're doing today. But thank you very, very kindly for that. Thank you so much. So I figured I would get on a little early so that way when 7 o'clock hits, I'm not wasting too much time. I am gonna go ahead and get started. It's close to 7 so that's why I came on a little early. Hi, Saran. Hello, Aisha. How are you? So glad to see you. Saran, where are you from? Where are you from? And I hope that I'm saying your name correct. Saran. I see a few others of you that have jumped in. Say hello and tell me where you're from. And if you're watching the replay, make sure that you say hello because I keep up with these and I want to be able to greet you as you're jumping in. So thanks so much for being here. Hey, Danye, I saw your face pop up. What's up, brother? Hi, Jessica. Where are you guys from? Where are y'all from? Tell me where you're from. Jessica, Sarone, tell me where you're from. I want to know. So I'm here in Orlando. I say Orlando, but it's right outside of Orlando. It's not right outside. It's like 35 minutes from Orlando, but we say Orlando. So anyway, Winter Haven, awesome. You're on the other side of I-4. That's cool. That's what's up. Okay, Doris, I see you. Greek love. I love it. I love it. Much respect to you, sis. Awesome. Simpsonville, South Carolina. Ooh, come on, South Kakalaki in the house. Fresno, hello, Reese. So glad to see you on. Always excited to see you pop up from the West Coast representing. Well, guys, again, I'm just so thankful that to be able to spend some time with you all. Bam! What's up, Danye? But so glad and so very grateful that God has allowed us to have just a few minutes together. I just want to remind you that these worship leaders Let's Chats are super casual. They're super laid back, and I'm not going to take up a lot of your time, but God has given me an assignment and he's given me something to do, and that is to meet with you all every 2 weeks as I can. But that's what we're shooting for, every 2 weeks, every other Monday, to just share some encouragement to worship leaders and praise team members and musicians and anybody who is serving in the area of worship arts in the local church, and to just bring some encouragement to you and strength to you. And yeah, I wanted to share with you from my experiences that that I've had over from almost 2 decades. That's a long time when you say it like that. But I've had a lot of experiences and have been really blessed. And so God has just put that mandate on my heart to share with you. And so that's what we're doing. But it's real casual, real laid back. And I want you to share these with your choir members, share it with your team members, and share it with your other worship leader folks that are in your community, in your area, or maybe they're just people that you know. share the page with them, share Worship Leaders Association with them, so they can be encouraged as well. Hey, Veronica. Girl, look, I know you're like, I'm not missing it. I'm here. And I'm glad that you're here. Hi, Stella. Tell me, where are you from? I'm so glad that you're watching. I think this is the first time I've seen your name pop up. So welcome to the chat. Tell us where you're from. And those of you that are watching for the first time, please tell us where you're from. We want to get to know you so we can connect with you. In addition to liking the Worship Leaders Association page and sharing the page and sharing the videos, I'd love for you guys to stay connected with me by joining the Rue Crew. How do you do that? You go to laruelive.com and you scroll down to where it says join the Rue Crew. And if you join the Rue Crew, then you really stay abreast of all the new resources and new events and things that are going to be made available to you. I don't want you to miss any of that. So in addition to liking Worship Leaders Association page and sharing it with someone that you know, sharing the video, liking the video, commenting, and getting engaged here, I also want you to go to laruelive.com and join the Rue Crew, so we can continue to together reach the world through worship. Reaching the world through worship. I had an incredible encounter, and I'm going to get started on what I want to share with you, but I had an incredible experience today. Just this afternoon, I was coming back from taking my son to tutoring, and I had a notification on my Instagram, which if you're not following me on Instagram, that's at LaRue Live, so definitely follow me there. But there was a notification that someone had tagged me in. And it was a young lady who was bringing just a word of encouragement to our brothers and sisters in Manila. Hey, Billy, what's up? Hey, sir. But yeah, so she was sharing just a word of encouragement. You guys may not know, but there was a volcano that erupted there just, I think, yesterday or day before, but just in the last day or two. And she was just encouraging them from the Word of God and just how wonderful it is to be able to have the Word to encourage us during scary times and during times when we don't know what's really going to happen. But she said that her motivation came from the scripture Psalm 90. And for those of you that don't know, there was a song that the Lord gave me when I was sick. I had had a TIA and was slightly paralyzed on my left side and had slurred speech and had to learn how to speak and walk and talk and write again. And so the Lord had given me a song called Psalm 90 during that time. And she started singing it. And I just thought, you know, so many people strive to do so much. But if you would just do what God has given you to do and you be faithful with what he's given you to do, you just never know who is going to be blessed by it. And so reaching the world through worship, I say it and we write it and we hashtag it all the time. And, you know, I don't strive to do it, but I just make myself available to it and God just makes it happen, right? And he just brings that. So thank the Lord for that. But anyway, I want you guys to connect with me, and so I can connect with you on laruelive.com by joining the Rue Crew so we can reach the world through worship together. Amen? Awesome. All right, so I digress. I had an email come through from a worship leader that I just recently connected with, and we were doing a mentoring call. I do a mentoring call with worship leaders. And so one of the questions that he asked was, you know, he's been a worship leader for a while, but it was new in a new area of ministry, new church, and wanted to make sure that he was being effective during their rehearsals. And so that's what he asked me. He said, how do you make sure that your rehearsals run smooth? And so I thought, you know what? That's one of the things that we've talked about before on these chats. And so we're going to talk about that again tonight. So really, really quickly, the question tonight is, how do you ensure an effective rehearsal? For me at the River, I have made it a point to make sure that our rehearsals are special. That there are special times. For our volunteers, rehearsal should be a special time, or at least it should be anyway. I've been very intentional about that. So when your volunteers are getting together, and this is, I'm speaking directly to those that are over a worship ministry, but you want to make it count. You want to make their time, make it special and make it count for them, because they're volunteering, they're giving of their time, and even as you as a worship leader, you may not be paid staff, but this, you may be volunteering as well. So you want to make it special, make it impactful, make it effective. So you want to make sure that you're not wasting time, and that you don't allow the other volunteers to do that either. I think a lot of the making sure that everyone is on task and everything is running smoothly kind of comes from the teacher side, from when I was in the classroom. And that was one of the bigger things, that you had to make sure that everyone was on task. So, we want to make sure that we're being effective with the time that we have with our volunteers, and that we have just with ourselves. Yeah, we'll work on that. Absolutely. This actually video will stay on, and so you can watch the replay of it. Okay. And also it'll be on my YouTube channel, so you can definitely watch this as well. All right. But yeah, so we want to make sure that our time is effective. For many of the choir members and the band too, I think, Danya, you can probably attest to this, but they look forward to rehearsals. They look forward to rehearsals. I've had several times choir members who say, they come in and just is like, I just had to get here just so I can just be in the midst of people of like faith, so I could be encouraged and strengthened. And, they might not even be, I've had people who are not even singing Sunday, but they want to make sure that they don't miss rehearsal, because that's the fellowship that they need. They gain strength when they're together. And so when we have out those rehearsals, that's what we want to make sure, that it's a time of promoting unity, that we're building relationships, we're building community with the people that we get to serve alongside. God is a God of relationship, and he sent his son so we could be with him forever. So why not make it that? Why not make those times that we get together be about building relationships, and building, not just practicing songs and, going over the rudiments of everything and just the technicality, everything. Let's take some time to learn about the folks that we're sharing, that we're serving with, and, spending that time praying with them, and agreeing with them, and loving on them, and spending time building relationships, right? That's what it's about. But how do we do that? So I'm going to give you 3 things that I like to make sure or 3 things that I have learned over the last almost, do I want to say it? Almost 20 years. Almost 20 years of leading worship, right? Thanks, Maribel. I love you, lady. Maribel was with me from the beginning, almost 20 years ago. But so 3 things that I've learned that I want to share with you, that I want to always make sure that I help worship leaders and music pastors and get to understanding. So the first thing is, we want to make sure that we prepare for rehearsals. Make sure that you've taken time to study the songs that you are going to be rehearsing, you as a leader, that you are familiar with, if you're teaching voice parts, that you are familiar with your soprano, alto, and tenor part. If you can't do it, this particular worship leader, he's a tenor, obviously. And, he said sometimes it's hard for him to sing the soprano parts, and the ladies don't always get it, properly. I said, well, take some time and record it ahead of time. And that way you can use that as a resource within your rehearsal. So, there are definitely resources and different ways that you can make that available, make it easy for you to teach the parts. So you want to make sure that you know your part for all of the sections before rehearsal. And, I say this is for the music director or the music pastor and worship leader. Choir members, praise team members, you also need to prepare. You also need to make sure that you take time to study your music. If you have the opportunity to have a look at what you're going to be singing for that week, then you should take responsibility for your music and for your gift and for your assignment, and at least listen to the song before you get to rehearsal. So you can be prepared. All of that is a part of making sure that we are using our time wisely. So choir members, praise team members, musicians, AV, if you're part of the rehearsal times, look at the songs that you're going to be singing for the upcoming week and prepare for it. Learn that. Listen to it ahead of time. And rehearsals should just be a time where we're just fine tuning, where we're having to just go in and just say, yep, that's the right part. Nope, that's not right. Let's fix it. Here, this is what, okay? So listen, make sure that you are familiar with your parts so that you can effectively teach them and you can effectively go over them. I like to make sure that my folks have lyric sheets, that they have lyric sheets available. Now, some people might not want to use paper. I like to have some paper with the words on it. So have lyric sheets available, have pens available, so that way when you're teaching the parts, they can take notes. I read music, so I like to make notes on my lyric sheet. So, and I encourage my choir to do the same thing. If you hear a part where we're repeating the bridge and the first time goes up and the second time goes down, write that on your paper. So that way when we're going back through it, you know, this is, oh, we're going to repeat it again. I put the arrow that goes up. So I do that. I put the arrow that goes down, or a squiggly. That means we're going to do a little turnaround thingy. Encourage them, help them to be effective with the rehearsal time by making notes on those lyric sheets. I'm a big proponent for water for the singers. So I like to make sure that my singers have water. Just set up little 8-ounce bottles of water, set that out for them. And then also make sure you have something encouraging to say before the end of rehearsal. If it's a word that the Lord has put on your heart, if it's a chapter out of a book that you're reading, read that. Read something that's going to encourage them in the assignment of praise and worship that they are serving in. Okay, so first we're preparing. Secondly, you want to have a plan of execution. A plan of execution. What does that mean? Habakkuk 2 says, write down the vision, make it plain so everybody who sees it can do it fast, get through it and run with it quick. So I like to write down my notes. I send the band choir notes. That's what I call them, choir notes, because I want everybody to know. I want them to know, and because we don't get to practice together, but I write down the notes of the songs that I'm going to go over, the songs that I'm going to be reviewing for that week. So have a plan of execution. Have a flow of rehearsal. That means you're going to have a flow of rehearsal prepared, written down to help keep you on track, to help keep you on schedule, so you're not wasting your time. When you first start, you're going to do your vocal warm-ups. Then you have a list of the songs that you're going to do. For me, I like to do, and I haven't done this in a while, and I'm going to do it because I kind of got out of the habit of it, because I had trained choir that when you come in vocals, you should already be warmed up before you get to rehearsal, so that way I don't have to waste time doing that. But we have some new choir members here in the last few months, so I need to start doing that again. So we're going to start with vocal warm-ups, and then I may start with an up-tempo song first. So I may start with a song that we all know that we're going to do in the upcoming Sunday, and that's just kind of get everybody awake and alive and get them ready to work. So we'll start with an up-tempo song, and then I'll go to the new song, introduce that, and then we'll finish reviewing the songs for the upcoming service. While we're practicing those songs for the upcoming service, I'll also look for a flow so we can practice the presence of God. It's not a matter of manipulating and saying, oh, right here, this is where we're going to do, we're going to stop and worship. I don't want to say manipulating, but because some people, I don't want to say that. But if you are walking through your songs, you know where you sense the presence of God shift. And so when I say practicing the presence and looking for the flow, that's exactly what you're doing. When you're going through those songs and you're reviewing them for the upcoming service, look for those little trails, those little trail offs that can lead to something, that can lead to a shift. And that way, if you do that in your practice, in your rehearsals, when you come Sunday morning or Saturday morning, for some of you that have service on Sabbath, when you get to those songs, you'll expect it. You'll know to look for it, listen for it, and it won't be so foreign to you. Um, so yeah, when you're reviewing those songs, practice the presence of God. Look for those flow moments. Okay, and then lastly, to be respectful of their time, make sure that you end on time. Make sure that you end rehearsal on time. Now I've heard of folks having 2-3 hour rehearsals, and it's really not necessary. If you come prepared and you have a plan of execution, you can end at a decent time. We practice maybe an hour, hour and a half at the latest. If we have a special services coming up, we've got a lot of new music we're working on, then we may go to 2 hours. I ask them to hold 2 hours. I ask them to do that. But I really try my best to get them out within an hour and a half. You be respectful of their time. A lot of people have children, they have families they need to get home to. They ran from work, threw a burger in the back seat. So take that time to be respectful of their time and end at a decent hour. Especially with the time change now, it's dark. And I have older members that are in our choir that I don't like for them to drive at night. It's hard to see at night. Y'all, I have one lady, we call her Mama D. Mama D, and Danya, you might not know this. She's going to be 86 in June. She's going to be 86. And if you would see her, man, you would never even know it because she's getting it right with the rest of us. And I love it. But yeah, so being mindful of that. And, if you care for your people, they will care for you. If you show them that you respect them and you respect their time, they'll respect you and they'll respect your time. And a lot of times people are willing to do for you when you show your appreciation and your respect for them. So we're talking tonight about having an effective rehearsal. That's what we're talking about. How do you do this with new singers? Loretta, I'm not sure they need work. When you say new singers, I think I missed your part of the question. What section you were talking about? Are you talking about practicing the presence, or what were you referring to, Loretta, when you said, how do you do this with new singers? And then when you say new singers, do you mean like they've never been in choir before? Let me know what you mean, and I'd love to elaborate. If I don't get to answer the question live, I'll definitely type in a response when I'm done. Okay. And I see some other seasoned worship leaders that listen. I'm not the only person that has all the answers. When we do these chats, I love the dialogue, and I love for you all to be able to help one another. It's called Worship Leaders Association. It's not just about me having all the answers, but we are here encouraging each other together. So if you see questions that come up, I'm going to respond to them, but please, you guys feel free to jump in and add your insight as well. All right. How do you nicely encourage those who show up late to be on time? That is a great, great, great question. Just like what you said, you nicely encourage them to be on time. I remember when I was at Faith World, we used to do this thing where I think we all used to run laps. Maribel, and you can correct me on this. I think everybody used to run laps just because I was just big on, we just need to know how to run around the sanctuary in case we need, no, I'm just kidding. But we did. We ran laps around this because it was a part of our warm up. And so if they were late, they had to take their lap by themselves. And I'll never forget that one day one person was like, I don't like this, but I know that this correction is good for me because it doesn't feel good at the time, but it's good for me. So, I would definitely, Renee, have a conversation with the one person. If you have one or two that are always late and they're always like, you remember the laps, right? It was so good. I think I want to start them again at the river. But Renee, I would pull that person aside and just ask them why, is there a problem why they're always late? I have a couple that they are always getting in at like 20 minutes after rehearsal. They're always coming in. But I know that they are both coming home from work. They have two kids, like one is like baby, and then the other one is like kindergarten. So I know that they're on their way and that they are just trying to get home from work, trying to get their kids fed and trying to get there. So, I would have a conversation with them and find out what the deal is. And because sometimes it just may be we need to extend grace to them. But then on the flip side of that, it could be that you need to, have them tighten up, and help them, see, okay, what are you doing when you're leaving from, like, what time are you leaving home? Help them see those spaces in those areas where they could do better. Being transparent, it's a struggle for me being on time as a leader. It is a struggle. Now, I'm not an hour, 30 minutes, 45 minutes late. I'm not crazy late, but I might be 1 or 2 minutes late, or even after the rehearsal is supposed to start, I might be late. It's not consistently, but sometimes, life happens. You getting the kids home from school, finishing homework, trying to feed them, getting there. And, or sometimes it just might be traffic. So having that conversation with them, and just seeing what the deal is, and helping them see areas that they can make that correction to get there on time. So I hope that helped you. Hope that helps a little bit. Loretta, I didn't see you answer your question there. I'm kind of going back to make sure I didn't miss any questions. Pastor Gabe, we will always cherish the times we spent with you and the Mr. Aw, man, we love you. You were there from the beginning. Pastor Gabe was our marriage counselor, and he and his wife, Miss Wanda. We love you. We appreciate you. All right, so I think I got everybody. Awesome sauce. Well, listen, you guys, do you run laps when you're late? Well, we don't. We used to. You didn't run laps when you were late. If you were late, you just had to run your lap by yourself. It's hard and we had a big choir. Prayers required on that late. Listen, I know, Danye. I know, dude. Yes. But Aisha, to answer your question, then we had a huge choir. Like, it was 120 people in the choir. And so if you walked in after we had finished our laps, you were running in front of 120 people. And that's not nice to feel like you got to run in front of 120 people. Yeah. Oh, do I run laps? Did I? Well, back then I was running with everybody. I was running with everyone. Yeah. No, I was running with everyone. We were always running together. I didn't have too much of a struggle back then. Now it's hard. I live 35 minutes from church. So it's a struggle being as early as I would like to be. I would say that. I really want to be early. They say if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. So I would like to get there earlier. That's my thing. Yeah. So I pray for you. You pray for me. I love you. So anyway, you guys, hey, thank you so much for watching. And I hope that this has been a blessing for you. I know that it has. If it has, would you please share this video with someone that you know would be blessed by it? Share it on your page. Share the page, Worship Leaders Association, with someone. Don't forget to go to LaRueLive.com and join the Rue Crew. And the main reason why I really want you guys to do this is because we don't know what Facebook is going to do tomorrow. We don't keep track, we don't know how things are going to change. And so I just want to make sure that I'm able to connect with you if something goes sideways, right? So make sure that you are that you're connected with me there on LaRueLive.com. You hate running with a passion. Well, we need to run, Danye. Communication is going to be key. Whenever a teammate shows late for a rehearsal, we never know why. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So yeah, just taking that time and chatting with them and seeing what's really going on. Cool. All right, you guys, I love you much. Thank you so much for watching. And be praying for our friends and our brothers and sisters in the Philippines and in Puerto Rico that have so many of them have lost so much. I think that I've heard that there have been no lives lost in Puerto Rico, which I'm so grateful to for that. But just let's just be praying for them as they are moving forward to rebuild. So, all right, you guys, thank you so much. I love you much. Renita, I'm sorry, but the replay is going to be right up just as soon as we're finished, okay? All right. I love you guys. I'll see you in 2 weeks. All right. God bless you. Danye, all right. Bye, you guys. Bye.